Hello, in today's video I'm going to be talking about The Ice Twins by S.K.Tremayne. I'm 100% sure I just pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing authors' names. But yeah, I wanted to start this review by saying I have mixed feelings about this book. I purchased this book quite a while ago and it's been sat on my TBR pile for a really long time, which I'm now trying to make my way through. And originally this was in the pile of books that I was going to read and then get rid of as part of my decluttering before I move house. But I'm kind of in two minds now. Although I think I should still probably get rid of it for the space, I kind of want to keep it just because I feel like I might want to reread it at some point. It's a very interesting book. It's a thriller and it follows this family, a husband, a wife and a daughter. Now this family suffered a terrible tragedy. They had twin girls and there was a horrible accident and one of the twin girls dies, and this book is looking at how the family is coping with this and the different issues they all have, the mother, the father and the surviving twin. It focuses mainly on the mother. She has, a huge amount of guilt about what happened. She is really struggling to come to terms with the fact that she only has one daughter, and the father is also still grieving. This is kind of set almost a year after the accident, but they're all still grieving, and they decide to have a fresh start and move to this island in Scotland. It's like their own little island. It's just a house set not far from the coastline, and it's this, they've kind of put this house up on this pedestal, and they feel like, the husband and wife feel like it's going to solve all their problems, and they're going to move to this new house, new location, and they're going to have a fresh start and everything's going to be okay. However, when they move, that isn't really the case. They're very isolated, they're very cut off, and they seem to kind of, especially the mother, she kind of sinks into her own head, and she's still struggling with the death of the daughter and her grief, and everything seems to come on top of her at once. Although the house and the island is beautiful, they move there in winter, and in Scotland it's very cold, it's rainy, it's dreary. I really love the atmosphere of this book. It's very chilling. You really get a sense of what they're going through. It's like their surroundings are kind of mirroring what they're feeling in their mental health, and I really liked that. The mum is a kind of unreliable narrator. She hints that something's kind of not quite right with her mental health. Like I said, she has a lot of issues and she's struggling to deal with them. She does talk to a therapist and she has friends around her who try and help her, but her relationship to her husband is kind of breaking down, and they're trying to make things work between them, but they're both struggling with their grief in very different ways. The mother's almost in denial about certain things, and then when their surviving daughter starts playing up, they both deal with it in very different ways. The dad kind of becomes an alcoholic, and he has a lot of anger issues. He has anger towards his wife, towards the whole situation, but he's trying to hold everything together, and he's trying to keep the family together, and he's trying to comfort the remaining daughter and make things okay. But the way he goes about it, I feel, kind of makes the situation worse. I feel like if he'd been more honest with his wife, it could have resolved a lot of issues. And the same with the wife. She holds a lot in herself, and I feel like if she'd let more of her emotions out, then the situation could have been rectified. The remaining daughter, the twin, is also grieving, as you can imagine, and I feel like she kind of has the worst of it because it's her twin sister. They were identical twins, and she kind of takes on characteristics and the persona of her twin sister, but you're not sure exactly what's happening. You're not sure if it's because this is out of grief and she doesn't want to forget her sister, so she's taking, and guilt, so she's taking on characteristics, or because she points in the book she pretends or is convinced that her sister is still alive and still with her. So there's three things to go by. Is her sister come back as a ghost and is haunting her? Is she taking characteristics and just pretending that her sister is alive? Or the most disturbing thing about this book is the mother at one point becomes convinced that the wrong twin died. Not the wrong twin died, but they think that they buried the wrong twin, like, because they were so identical, she's not sure which twin survived and which one died, and it all kind of becomes muddled in her mind. It's very twisted, it's very dark, it's very tense. I actually finished this book in one day, which is fairly rare for me, because I'm quite a slow reader, and well, not a slow reader, but I like to take my time with books. It's not a particularly long book, but yeah, I normally like to take my time, but this one I just really wanted to know what was happening and what the outcome was going to be. So I finished it. It was very thrilling. I feel like it's very gripping. I'm not sure if I actually liked the parents in this book. Like I said, I feel like they did a lot wrong, and I mean, of course they're struggling with grief, but I feel like things, like I said, could have been done in a different way and it could have been better. I feel like they could have handled situations a bit better. Some of the things that happen, I'm not sure is very realistic, but like I said, it was very gripping, and it's definitely a good book to read in October. It's very chilling. It keeps you wanting to know what's going to happen to these characters. I'm not wholly satisfied with the ending. I would have liked it to have ended slightly differently, which is why I'm kind of on the fence about whether to keep it or whether to get rid of it. I think I would probably read this book one more time, which is why I'm leaning towards keeping it. But yeah, if you like kind of spooky thrillers with lots of creepy atmosphere, then I would definitely recommend this. I did enjoy it a lot more than what I thought it was going to. I kind of wish I'd reached for this book a bit sooner. It came out a couple of years ago, I think, or a few years ago now, and yeah, I kind of wish I got to it a bit sooner. Kind of exceeded my expectations. I didn't have very high expectations when I went into this book. I didn't really know an awful lot about it before I started reading it, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very creepy. I thought it was a very good October read, and very disturbing in places. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I would be interested to hear from anyone who has also read this book and their thoughts on it. But yes, I would definitely put it on my recommended list. So that's pretty much all I have to say. If you have any questions, then please leave them down below. And as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye guys.